Oh.
How long is it recording?
24?
I said 22.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to the joint. The joint is where he's going to be at. Oh, okay, I see. So they said I can't bring any food inside there, so I'm trying to see if the bell desk will hold this for me, because I really don't want to throw it away. To use these suits from the movies. David Bowie, Mick Jagger. So they gave me this ticket. They're gonna hold my chips, and then I give them this ticket back when I'm ready to come back and pick up my chips. So that's really cool. I took it to the bill desk, and basically, yeah. So now they said that I can't bring my pepper spray in either, so I'm gonna leave it also at the bill desk.
How much money does this business make? Personally, I only consider owning stocks in companies that are growing earnings a minimum of 10% per year. 10% per year, that's the magic number. Then, revenues. Revenue is a top line number, this is sales. We only look at companies that are growing sales a minimum of 7% per year. 7%. Then dividends. Dividends is our source of passive income. I have a quote from Kevin Oleary on dividends. Are you aware of the fact he has over $1 billion in the financial markets? So the same kind of things I'm talking to you about is what he's doing with his own capital. And then the insiders. So who are the insiders? Well, this would include key executives within a company, people who sit on the board of directors, big institutional investors. Can we all agree that these insiders know more than anybody else on the planet about what's happening with that business? So, what do you think you and I ought to do when you see these insiders buying up more stock? Our job, you put it down. Call up, put down. Let's do it as a group. Ready? Call up, put down. Perfect. And if you want to know how long I've been teaching this class, look at that phone. Not my first rodeo. Okay, let me show you some numbers from an actual trade. This trade was found by a buddy of mine, Fred Nancy, ironically. Yesterday I got a message from him just thanking me for helping him through the years and teaching him, and he was talking about what he's been able to achieve, and I'm just so proud of him. But he calls me out of the blue one day. He said, pull up a chart on Disney for me. So I did. He goes, what do you see? I go, Disney's going higher. He said, I see the same thing. So at that point, we now have a decision to make. We could buy Disney stock, and at that time, it was trading for $94 a share. Or we could buy call options on Disney stock for 93 cents a share. So let me explain. Awesome, that's great. And people ask me, so how many more years are you going to teach? I think until I ask that question and nobody raises their hand because we started teaching this in high school or college. So part of my commitment is, and my give back, is that I am going to create curriculum. I don't know when I'm going to do it, as soon as I get the chance. And I'm just going to give it away to the schools. And then I'll volunteer to teach the teachers how to teach this to their students. And I figure you can either be part of the problem or part of the solution, right? Everybody can complain, not enough people are doing it. So that'll be a really neat landmark for me. All right, so what can you trade? How many of you have money in an IRA account? Everything I showed you can be done with IRA money. Compare that to whatever returns you're getting right now. How many of you are self-employed? You have your own little business, independent contractors? Cool. So I did that for the first time at the age of 19. One of the great things about being self-employed, and now I'm doing this with this kid that I'm mentoring, you control your own retirement plan. You can set aside this year up to $55,000 and be able to deduct it from your federal income tax. How many of you have a 401k? Okay, so I don't have one of those because I'm not an employee. But if I did, I would want to get my money out of those mutual funds, but I wouldn't want to pay taxes or penalties. So you know how you do that? Just borrow against the account. And then I know you all have some money in checking and savings, which the banks love. Have you ever thought about how many people are getting wealthy off of you? Your employer, the banks, the insurance companies, credit card companies, the car dealers, the internet providers, the cell phone providers. What's left for you? How do you turn that around? Same conversation I had with my sister. You've got to pay yourself first. You pay everybody else with what's left over. Most broke people I meet think their problem, comfortable coming forward, that their voices would not be heard, that they would lose their jobs. Well, now the women are coming together and they're starting to speak up, and it is about time. And so when I realized 90+% of the men in this room would never dream of engaging in that activity, but for the handful of those of you that can't look me in the eyes right now, let me just say this to you. You were raised probably by a mom, maybe you had a sister, you have a daughter. What is the right way to treat women in the workplace? How about the way that you would want a man to treat your daughter? If you did that, all these issues go away. So that's the end of my public service announcement.
Yeah. Amen.
I figure, I have the privilege of getting an audience 5 days a week. And if spending 30 seconds maybe prevents 10 or 20 or 30 of those things from happening, I think that's a good investment of time. So when I trade options, I'm no longer looking at numbers on the business. I don't care about the business. I'm looking for momentum, either up or down. So you can see here on this chart, there's a blue line. That's a moving average. The middle piece right here, that's a MACD, and at the bottom, that's called a stochastic. Now, in class, you'll learn the significance. There are little darts up there you may be able to make out. They're either red or green. Green means likely to go higher, red means likely to go lower. You see circled in yellow, right there, that's a green dart. Get your money to grow. Let me show you this. If you had $10,000 in an account that earned 3% and you left it there for 30 years, you end up with enough money to retire for about 5 months. You want to know what's really sad? Most of you in here don't even earn 3%. A lot of you don't even have $10,000. So you tell me what your future looks like.
When does Kevin
Unless
come on?
what?
Where's
you
Kevin?
Get some specialized knowledge and get on a different path. Now, if you could make 8%, now you got enough money to retire for a couple of years. Not a hell of a lot better. At 15%, now we're getting someplace. You grow that to 600,000, 700,000, 15% on that's about 100 grand a year. That's not bad. But what if you had the specialized knowledge to make 20%? You end up with enough money to live out the rest of your life. Again, is this worth learning how to do? Well, what if you don't have $10,000? My sister here, she'd say, I didn't have it. What if you started putting away $100 a month 30 years ago? Today, that could be worth $1.7 million. So it's not about how much you're starting with. What's it about? Getting started. Getting started is always the hardest part. Kevin says, I want to get a bit richer than when I woke up. Me too. But it doesn't happen because you want it.
Me too.
It happens because you do something. Money has no gray areas. Either make it or you lose it. Here's what I tell people. When the market goes up 8 years in a row, an orangutan can make money. But when the market starts getting funky, like it is now, when a market corrects, as it is ultimately going to do? Only the smart, only people with specialized knowledge are left standing. That's what I want for you. So, this is what we offer. We have our 3-day class. The class has been recorded, so you have the ability to be able to go back and review the strategies. How many of you would like a chance to do that? You may not get it the first time, right? We'll give you a workbook for keeping track of all your notes. We have a support line. Our team of people, they're in the offices in Utah. You can use them on an unlimited basis. In the beginning, I'm just telling you, you're going to have questions. And you're going to want to work with people that practice patience with you. We have email support and then access to the software. So that you know, we do not market the software to non-students. And the reason? The software...
But it turns out there's 3 common attributes in every successful pitch between investors and entrepreneurs. Not some of the time, 100% of the time. I spend a lot of my time teaching graduating cohorts of engineers these days, and I teach them this. So if there's only one thing you remember from my presentation today, I want it to be this. This will serve you well for the rest of your life. I call it the definition of leadership. The 3 attributes that are present in every case where an investor makes a pitch and gets funded does not determine the outcome of the company. Nothing to do with it. It starts the journey. An investor is willing to take a chance. So let's look at what those are.
When is he going to
Number
play
one,
the guitar?
You have to be able to get and articulate the opportunity in 90 seconds or less. It turns out that if you can't explain where you want people to go and follow you, they won't. Hi, I'm from Cohasset, Massachusetts. I take cupcakes. I put them in a mason. FedEx them to you. I thought to myself, wow, how did that happen? Well, she always wanted financial independence. What she had done had bought, at the time when she was in her 20s, she'd take 10% of her salary, it turned out, and bought a whole bunch of large cap dividend paying stocks. That was 50% of the portfolio. She had this thing for 45 years. The other side, telco bonds, bonds of telephone companies. She was a woman of the 50s and 60s, and she thought nobody would ever turn off their phone. They'd rather have no heat than no communication. So she had telco bonds. That portfolio beat everybody. Her belief was never spend the principal, only the interest. So everything she owned paid a dividend. I did some research. Look at this. In the stock market, and this has been the case forever, over 70% of the returns come from stocks that pay dividends. Dividends are 70% of the returns, not capital appreciation. On a day like today, when the market was very volatile, the stocks that pay dividends went down a whole lot less because they pay something back. But over a long period of time, profitable companies that pay dividends matter.
The winning guitar person right here, you must be present to win. Is there a Carlos Anthony in the house? Carlos Anthony in the house right there. You just won this guitar. Let's hear it for Carlos tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Drive safely. We'll see all of you at that back table with your questions. God bless you and have a great night.
I love you, Brooklyn. Oh, I'm in Las Vegas. That's what? I gave the guy already my...
To be the gathering place, because first of all, I love having kids around, but secondly, I wanted to be able to keep an eye on my boys, and it made it easier. And she looked at me and said, "Would you really want us to do that?" And I said, "I would be honored. Come on, let me help you pack." So we spent the afternoon packing up boxes, dragging them over to my house, and we instantly became the talk of the neighborhood. So I got to set the scene for you. Back then, I was living in this semi-snooty community, and suddenly I'm living with 2 lovely women. One white, one black. This is not 2018. This is like 30 years ago. By the way, we're still ass backward. When it comes to race in this country, one day everybody's going to grow up and realize you got one race, right? That's it. Could you imagine treating animals that way? Well, you know, I'm not going to pet the brown dogs. Just like, you wouldn't do it to dogs, but we do it to people. Good Lord. We are getting better, and I think the next generation will take us to the finish line. But let me tell you, I would come walking down the sidewalk with my makeshift Brady Bunch family, and I could see the neighbors, you know, looking at us, and I could hear them thinking, what does this dude have going on? He's got her, and 2 kids look like that, and 3 kids look like that. That was probably about the time I just stopped caring about what people thought of me. Because I'm going to tell you, this is what I've discovered. You can spend your whole life kissing everybody's ass, and everybody's still not going to like you. So you might as well just be yourself. You know, I tell my boys, as long as you're authentic, you always know who's looking back at you in the mirror. When I talk to people who say, you know, I just don't even know who I am anymore, I go, that's because you're phony. When you're phony, I can understand why you don't know who you are anymore. Let me tell you about these 3 kids. The youngest one graduated from Georgia Tech 2 years ago. Middle one graduated from Georgetown, and the oldest one graduated from Penn. So he got an Ivy League education, and I got to tell you, if those kids looked a little more like me, I'd be claiming those were my natural children. Those 2 boys got dropped off by Amazon. Right? No, I mean, my boys are great. But here's what I learned from that experience. Having nice stuff is awesome. Anybody who tells you to the contrary, they're just trying to make you feel better. But it doesn't compare to making a generational difference in the life of a family, or supporting a farm sanctuary or a rescue shelter, where you show up and you see all these little waggedy tails and you realize the only reason these animals are alive is because of your financial contribution. So here's what you'll discover. If you ever become successful, you just flat run out of crap to buy, but you will never run out of people to help. So if you start with that, everything else just falls into place. And I think about some of the people I am so blessed to be associated with. You know, Tony Robbins is probably worth $500 million. He's still out there teaching and helping people. Kevin Oleary, hundreds of millions of dollars. He's still helping people. Jeff's still helping people, right? So what motivates them? We understand that we can't just rely upon schools to do this, that we've got to participate. Those of us that have a little more than we need. So I'm hoping that if we help you do better, maybe you'll help somebody else do better. And if you decide to do business with us, just know that is not the last time you're going to hear that message, because that's what we're all about. So our mission, I want you handling your own money. You heard Jeff talk about this. There is nobody on this planet who's going to watch your money more carefully. Every group I talk to is a little different. How many of you are in the stock market? You own at least one stock. By show of hands? Interesting, it's all the people in the front. Wow. By the way, that's pretty consistent. I want to get the people in the back engaged as well. How many of you own a mutual fund? Okay, just a quick comment on mutual funds. I think mutual funds are one of the biggest scams ever perpetrated on small investors. You're really being taken advantage of. If you look at the numbers, 86% of all funds underperform the market. You can do better. We're going to talk about that. How many of you use options as a part of your strategy? Great. For the rest of you, I'm going to explain what an option is and why you should care, especially if you don't have a lot of money. How many of you need a place to start where you can start small and then grow your account over time? Fantastic. Options is probably going to be your ticket. How many of you are currently contributing to a retirement plan? IRA, 401k, something like that? Like half. For the other half, let me talk to you like family for just a second. When you hit age 65, if you don't have a bunch of money squirreled away in a retirement plan, what does life look like for you? Welcome to Walmart. Chances are you'll be working there, and you sure as shit will be shopping there. Look at the people today working at McDonald's, bagging groceries. I remember when those jobs were done by teenagers. Today they're being done by seniors. You know, they talk about the various forms of discrimination in this country. One that's not talked about enough, age discrimination. We are a culture that worships youth. You get to be 55, nobody wants you. Companies are trying to figure out how to usher you out the door. Here's my suggestion. While you have the opportunity, learn a skill set to be able to produce your own income. I promise you, it'll put you in a whole different frame of mind, create a whole different mindset. All right, quick reality check. First of all, your broker is not your friend. I'm not suggesting that they're bad people, but here's what I know. They have a conflict of interest. Brokers do not get paid to make money for their client. They get paid to make money for their firm. That is the definition of a conflict of interest. Wealthy people have their money growing at 15% and higher. Broke people have their money growing at 1% and lower. Do you understand all the money that's sitting in a bank earning zero right now? Atrocious. Those of you who are in the market, I know your portfolio is not protected, and I know what happened to the value of your stocks and mutual funds today because you're not hedged. So I'm going to show you how to get hedged. And by the way, this is just the beginning. This market is long overdue for a correction. I mean, look at history. Market corrected in 1992, corrected in 2000, corrected in 2008. We're going to have another correction. And during the last three corrections, the market dropped between 40 and 50. Many things lined up. So if it's either money or dates, check with one of them, see how you can secure that rebate certificate, because that's what you're going to want. Listen, it's your chance to get trained and get all your money back. And I can't imagine somebody not wanting to take advantage of that. So if that's why you're still in your seat, instead of taking action,
yeah, we're going to be rich today.
We're going to be wrapping all this up in the next 10 minutes or so.
Oh, is this the line? Is this the line that talked to Bill?
Yeah, pretty much. I believe.
What's your name?
Michael.
My name is Bobby.
Bobby.
Hey, nice to meet you, Daniel.
Daniel, you mind if I record? I'm a vlogger. I'm a YouTuber, man. I'm in the new social media. Yeah, we're in line, man. What is your name? I'm Bob. Bob Marley. Hi, Bob. Hi.
Nice to meet you. Sylvia. I'm sorry, Sylvia.
Yeah, so I came here because he said, "Oh, what are you guys coming for? I came here to see Kevin Oleary. You know, he's my idol. You know, I'm his idol too. Because I've met him in the past. You know, I met him once or twice. He's a cool guy. But where his mind is at, you know, that's what inspires me. You know, to want to do more because, you know, let's say we're, you know, quote unquote rich or wealthy. What is your end goal? That's what matters. How do you want to be remembered? That's what they
and
told
what
me.
makes you rich, makes you rich is your heart. You know,
and you are rich, man. Yeah. Just by you saying that, just by you saying that, you're rich, man. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good, man. What is your name?
Wade, brother.
I'm Bobby. Bobby, yes, sir, man. We're talking about Kevin Oleary, man. You don't mind if I record? Okay.
I'll tell you right now, if I ever get on Shark Tank, I'll let him know my peace of mind. He doesn't work there anymore. Never mind.
Oh, he don't work there no more?
No, he ain't on the show no more.
What happened? What happened?
Exactly what happened. Mark Cuban's a nigga in the middle now.
Oh,
he has about
there you go.
10 times more money than him.
Oh, man. That's what it
There,
is.
dude.
Oh, damn.
Larry's like 100 million.
Hey, you seen that video with Zuckerberg?
Get to a certain point, like you're taking
No,
potatoes.
no,
You know what I mean?
that's why Mark Cuban sits in there. He's smooth. He's always like, listen, you're done talking to them, now you mess with me.
He always did that.
Right.
Yeah, he always did that.
But Larry's cool. I hope he comes out here and actually shows up because about 5 hours ago he was in Beverly Hills eating lunch. Saw it on TV.
Oh, for real?
That's why I was like, I guarantee he'll be here.
5 hours ago?
Oh, you
Yeah,
just had a
at
little
lunch.
private
Yeah,
jet.
he got a little
jet. Yeah, he got the little jet money.
Do you guys? Does anyone here know of? Give me 1 second. Infowars.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you know Infowars. You know how he got kicked out of all the social media.
Nah.
He said to Mark Zuckerberg on the show that he is a robot cyborg. Mark Zuckerberg got hold of this information, he cut him off Facebook and talked to YouTube. YouTube cut him off. Then guess what happened after he got cut off all of the social media? Then he went mainstream. You got it. So from his social media, let's say death or cutoff, he became mainstream. Dude, the funniest shit in my life, like no joke, was him talking to Mark Rubio. You know who Mark Rubio is? Oh my god, dude. I could not stop laughing for at least an hour. Because Mark Rubio has his like little like entourage and shit. And so the InfoWars guy, I forget his name, Alex Jones. Alex Jones, he was like, Alex Jones, he was like saying something, dude. And it was just like the funniest shit. I don't remember exactly what he said, but okay, I'll stop. You know this is Tropicana, sir? Hello? He didn't answer. So I don't know exactly what happened, but my brother and his girlfriend or wife are both in jail right now at this time. We're gonna keep you updated on this information. Tomorrow I'm like super tired of going to sleep. I had a very long day. My head is hurting a lot. Super tired. So I don't know what happened, but I went to that Kevin Oleary thing today, and I'm gonna upload the rest of the videos of that tomorrow. And yeah, the mug shot of Ryan is in the thumbnail of this video. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but like I said, I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Peace out. So this is the update on my brother Ryan. She was driving him around to steal metal. Also, he was wanted for the assault on Deidre. They borrowed my bolt cutters back. It was the big bolt cutters. The caddy is stranded in my house. Some squirrels live in it presently. I'm saving cans to try and get him out. If anyone wants to help, just throw cans in my neighborhood. This has been a public service announcement by YouTube Jared 333 from Diego Lee Rod Foundation. The Diego Lee Rod, I'll try and put his channel in the description. You guys can check out his channel. Basically, my dad gave him a Cadillac because my sister Deidre bought my dad a car, and so his girlfriend or wife, whatever you want to call her, Cindy, was driving him around to steal metals to put gas in the car because he can't afford gas. Can't afford gas for the car because the car is like a V8, so he doesn't work. So that's what's happening. So Jim said she was driving him around to take metals to put gas. He's one for the assault on deer because they were, remember that video I made about the karma? We get stopped by a car and stuff. So basically he punched him, not hard, but like he kind of punched him, so they got mad and called the cops, and then went and got a restraining order on him. And so that's what's going on with him. So like that's why you see all the visions of the assaults and stuff. So basically that's what's going on. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, and share my videos. Free Ryan. Peace out.
Oh.
How long is it recording?
24.
I said 22.
Oh, okay. Oh.
How long is it recording?
24.
I said 22.
Oh, okay. Oh.
How long is it recording?
24.
I said 22.
Oh, okay.